Hi, so now we're going to do a bit more work with safety and slumber. And today I'm thinking we'll have a look at the vocals. There's a little bit of interplay between the vocals and the guitars. They're going to be sharing a lot of the same frequencies. I have a couple of little ideas about how we can get them to sit a bit nicer, but for the interim, I think what we'll do is we'll just concentrate solely on getting the vocal performance as even as possible. What I mean by that is if we have a look at this wave file, you can see the dynamic range of the performance is quite dynamic indeed. In fact, here, very small waveform, here, massive, this is where he goes full tilt. And then right at the end of the song, again, very, very soft, very intimate performance right at the end. So what my job is to get this as even as possible. Now, I'm going to do this in a two-pronged approach. There's two ways that we can do this. I'm going to use both ways. One is volume automation, and the other is serial compression. So serial compression will leave for a little while. Let's just work on getting the dynamic range a bit closer to being even. Also, there's a couple of problems with some plosives and a couple of things that need de-essing. When we come across those, we'll work out what to do with those. But for now, one of the problems people have is that when they automate volume, they tend to automate the fader volume, which is this little fader here. And there's nothing wrong with doing it that way, but I just think there's a better way of doing it. And I'll tell you the reasons why. What we'll do is we'll just bring in a utility, and we'll bring that in. And what we're going to do is we're going to automate this gain knob here. And what that enables us to do is that if during the mix later on we decide that, you know, the vocals are a bit loud and that they need to be a bit further back in the mix, or they're a bit quiet, we need them a bit louder, and you have a whole heap of automation going on, you can kind of get that situation where it's not impossible, but it does make it a little bit more difficult. You lose a little bit of control. Whereas if we can get the performance as even as possible without it touching this fader, then if later on we need more volume or less volume, it just makes it a little bit easier. So let's get to it. It's really not rocket science. It's quite easy. What we do is we're going to make sure that we're automating our gain knob like so. So here we are. So just go ahead and make a guess at where we think it would be. Yep, very good. Very good. Let's make some, pretty good guesses. I mean, you don't have to be exact here, but there we go. Alright, let's have a listen, see how close we're getting.
Step inside the fire and let go of your mind. Have you lost all reason? Listen to the night and give in to your heavy eyes. Succumb to the lullaby.
Okay, so I reckon that's pretty even. For my next trick, let's work on some serial compression. The theory behind this is what we want to do is we want to hit a compressor that's going to squash all the peaks, any of those loud pops, anything that it's almost like a limiter. We're pretty brutal with it. I mean, we just want to chop off any of those peaks, and that makes it easier for the next compressor. So the next compressor will have less work to do, cuts off some of the large hills, makes it a little bit more even, and then the last compressor glues it all together. It's probably easier if I just show you. This is just a temporary compressor I had going on there. So the way we do this is we use, I'll be using 3 compressors. So 1, 2, 3. You could use the glue compressor. You could use any compressor for this, really. Because of my OCD, we'll group them together. And I'm going to disable these 2. So this first one, we're going to hit at 10 to 1. In OCD, let's type it in. A reasonably fast attack. Release will adjust to taste. And what I'm listening for here, I'm going to pull the makeup gain on all of these. I'll make up gain with a utility at the end of it. Just because I don't like this makeup knob, I don't think it does anything justice. So what we want to do, normally what we would try to do is get 6 dB. Is happens to be pretty much the magic number. So we want to get around about 6 dB maximum of compression of gain reduction happening. Now with these compressors, we don't. It shows you a gain reduction, but it doesn't really tell you how many dBs of gain reduction in that is. So we kind of have to guess. So we can be reasonably brutal. So let's start. Where I really want to test this out is in this area where it goes really soft to really loud, because that's the spot where I think it's going to need the most work. So let's just push play, and I'm going to adjust this threshold till I get about 6 dB of gain reduction. And this compressor's job is just to kind of tame those peaks, tame any stray nastiness, really. Okay, so that's the first compressor done. Now I'm going to head to the next one. Next one, we're going to dial back the ratio a little bit more. So we're going to go around about 4 to 1 on this one. Same again, a reasonably fast attack, but this time we're going to slow the attack down a little bit. We're going to let some of those peaks, if whatever's left of those peaks, we're going to let through. There'll be transients like T's and again, the release, what I kind of like to do is I like to engage, I think it's this one here, and I like to make sure that the release is set around, so it's not too fast, so it's not a big jagged edge, but it was also not so long that it's never coming back up. So let's just have a look at that. What I'll do is first of all, I'll check this one and I'll make sure that my release is set okay, which I think it is. It sounds okay. And then this one here, I'm going to do the same thing as I did. I'm going to try and get 6 dB of gain reduction happening at a ratio of 4 to 1.
No reason, listen to the night and give in to your heavy eyes. Succumb to the lullaby.
Serial compression is a fantastic method, but it has one thing that you have to watch out for. is that if you change anything with any of these compressors, you basically have to start this whole process again. So if you make a change on this compressor, you're going to have to adjust these two. If you make a change on this one, you're going to have to adjust this one. It's just something to be aware of, that any adjustments, later adjustments that you make, you keep having to come back and check to make sure that you're getting the right amount of gain reduction on these compressors. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to leave this one at 2 to 1 now. Leave the attack at 2 milliseconds. I'm going to leave the release about the same. So this one's job is not, it's just basically smoothing everything out now. So this one's done the job of the peaks, this one's brought everything to around about the same level, and this one's just bringing it all together now. Let's turn this on, and we want to do the same thing, get about 60 dB of gain reduction.
No reason, listen to the night and give in to your heavy eyes. Succumb to the lullaby.
Alright, so we're just going to test it in a few areas now. We're going to make sure that in all of these areas we're doing the right amount of gain reduction and that the compressor's catching all the peaks.
Step inside the fire and let go of your mind. Sleep. Go to sleep.
That's looking good. It's looking really good. So there you have it. That's serial compression for you. Some people might prefer using the glue compressor on this one. It's much for muchness, really. This utility is here because all this gain reduction I'm doing, I'm not using this makeup knob because I don't think it's accurate. So I'm using that gain here. I've put it all in a group so that I can bypass the whole chain, and I'm just going to do that just here. Just have a listen, make sure we're getting that we haven't given it too much more gain, or make sure our gain staging is still right. That's pretty close. That's pretty close. Now, let's have a crack at some of these plosives. Now, there's a couple of ways of doing this. The way I think this one's been recorded, I think maybe it's SM57. So there's a lot of spits, a lot of pips, and a lot of plosives. One of the main ones that I can hear is in this section here. I think it's even this first one.
Go to sleep.
You hear that breath at the end of sleep there? The puh. What that is that's proximity effect, I believe. So that's one of the problems about using a dynamic mic and having it too close to your face when you're singing, and that's obviously going to happen more often than not in a more intimate section, because singers naturally bring the mic closer to them when they're singing more quiet, and that's where that pits come from. So we're going to address that one. There's a couple different ways of addressing it. Personally, what I like to do is make sure that when at the recording stage, I use a decent mic with a pop filter, and that can be a 57. I've used 57s before, that's fine, but even with the 57 I use a pop filter. Sometimes I would use Isotope RX to get rid of all the plosives. Like on this project, the file was given to me with some crackles and stuff in it. But because it doesn't happen too often, I think I might, and it'll be good to actually just show how to fix these things. We'll just do that now. So I'm just going to bring in an EQ8 at the end of this gaining, and then I know that after this phrase here is where that p is. It's right at the end here, and I reckon it's that part of the waveform right there.
sleep.
Just in that area where it goes p, I'm just gonna high pass. So let's turn all these off. I'll leave as an EQ for now, because I might use some more of this EQ a bit later, but just for the moment, what I want to do is when we get to that p, this is what I want to happen. I want all of that low-end information from that plosive to be eradicated. If I was to play it from back here, it would sound...
Go to sleep.
Can you hear that? It's gotten rid of it. The p is perfect now. But of course the rest of this, we've lost the body. So here's how we fix that. We just use automation, and we automate the on-off of the EQ. Add that as an automation lane. Just here, let's make sure it's off. Just here, we want to turn it on, and then turn it off here. Let's have a listen to that.
Go to sleep.
Maybe I might need to come back out this way a bit more.
Go to sleep.
There we go. Let's have a listen and see if we got any more. I don't think there's any on that one. A little bit there. The same thing again. Turn it on. Turn it off before we get to the next phrase.
Go to sleep.
That one's okay. It's not a bad one.
Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep.
It's not bad, but I think I will. And I will just here too. You can see I brought it in too quickly there.
Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep.
Again, it's not bad, but we've got the tools, we might as well use them.
Go to sleep.
Now, that last one, I'm kind of inclined to leave that one in there. Let's just listen to it without. Oops.
Go to sleep.
Yeah, okay, we'll keep it like that. Another problem we have is there's quite a few S's. I'm probably going to EQ these vocals in a minute and bring out a lot of that air, and those S's are going to probably be a lot harsher. So what we need to do, I'm going to do it on the group, maybe even before the compressors, we're going to DS. Now, there is a de-esser in Ableton. I've never used it. Let's have a crack. Let's see how it works. And this intimate section is a really good spot because it's got lots of really close to the mic action, so it's a really good area to trial this out. Let's have a listen, see how this de-esser does. I might need to adjust the ratio or the threshold at some stage. Let's just have a listen.
Go to sleep. Go to sleep.
Let's try it after all the compression.
Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep.
Okay, that de-esser is useless, but it was worth a try, worth looking at.
Sleep.
Let's get a single vocal, male, split band.
Sleep.
Wide band.
Sleep. Sleep. Sleep.
There's a little bit of a pop there.
Go to sleep.
What you got to be careful with de-essers is that the S doesn't turn into a th, like a TH, and that can happen if you de-ess too harshly. This, I haven't even adjusted anything on this de-esser, this Fab Filter one, and it seems to have made the S's less harsh, but it hasn't made them so less harsh that, you know, you're starting to hear that th sound that you don't want. Alright, I wonder if we might do something just a little bit different. What's happening is when the EQ is coming in, it's actually coming in quite harshly. So what we might do is, instead of having a an on-off, maybe what we might do is adjust the frequency. That might make it a little bit less harsh when it comes into these areas. So let's
Go to sleep.
like that, something like that.
Go to sleep. Go to sleep.
That's better. Bring that back down.
Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep.
It's not so bad, you know. Nearly there.
Go to sleep. Go to sleep.
Okay, we're looking in good shape. So if I hear any plosives or hear any nasty S's while I'm doing some more work, we can do some more of this automation as we need to. So let's just drag this down a bit. Let's keep on working. Now, when I listened to the original mix of this song, I noticed that there was a nice little production technique that I liked. Let's have a listen. Right to the beginning vocals of the original song, what we should hear is almost like a telephone effect with the vocals, which then open up into the normal vocal sound. Yeah, I like that. So we're gonna replicate that. Used to be a preset in the EQ section in here that was cheesy speaker, maybe. Yeah, that's the one. So I'm just doing this this processing on the actual group itself. I'm not sure if there's any, which is only really on the main vocal anyway. So I just want this on that first section. Let's have a listen to it solo.
Step inside the fire and let go of your mind.
So that's pretty good. I might just bring one up a little more. That's it, like that. And 5. Just down a bit more.
Step inside the fire and let go of your mind.
The thing with this effect is it's always going to be louder. So we just bring the gain down on the actual EQ itself.
Step inside the fire and let go of your mind.
Right, and so now I'm just going to automate this on and off in that area that I want it to come off at. So I'm going to make sure that it's on to begin with. It's up on this one. Add automation lane. We want it off when it gets to the first verse. Just like that. Now, one of the problems with the vocals now is that they're too dry. We need to give them some space. Now, there's 2 ways that I like to do this. I like to give them reverb. That brings them back in the mix, but also has a problem of being a little bit muddy, can muddy up the mix. It can make things a little bit too busy. And that's where a delay comes in handy. But so what I'll try first is I'll bring in a new return track. I'm going to call this reverb. Now, one of the reverbs I love to use is a plate. Let me save this first. I love using plates, especially on male vocals. Just gives them a little bit more body. I'm going to use the Valhalla plate for this one. I'm going to bring the decay down to about 2 seconds. Pre-delay up to about 2 milliseconds. It gives, the pre-delay does is it makes the effect not come into effect for that amount of time, so it delays the effect coming in. If you give it too much, you can get a disconnect and it can sound, the reverb doesn't sound like it's happening to the actual voice itself. It kind of sounds a bit disjointed. So a good starting point is around 2 milliseconds. 100% mix because we're running this through a return. D, this last one here is now our reverb. We're going to have a quick listen. So that's a really nice sounding plate. I'm still thinking it needs a bit more, some kind of room now. So I'm gonna bring in another return track. So what I'm gonna call this one, I'm gonna call this room reverb, and I'm gonna call this last one that we just did, I'm gonna call that the plate. And I'm just going to bring in our lexicon room. Let's just save before we do that. Alright. Don't want any early reflections. We might just want the late reflections. Medium live room. Let's try that. You can tell that, like, a reverb, when you solo just the vocals by itself, let's go to this nice intimate section, that the reverb will really be obvious. Go to sleep. So that's both the plate and the room reverb, and they sound really obvious. But in the mix, they're actually, not as obvious as you think. You can actually get away with putting quite a bit of reverb on a vocal. Okay, and for my last trick, I'm going to use the delay. We haven't used this delay yet. Actually, there's nothing wrong with the Ableton delay. It does everything you want it to. So we know that the delay is B, which is the second one. We're just going to bring a little bit of that in and just see how that goes as well. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go Okay, I think we're doing quite well here. We've got a nice sounding vocal. I might just do a little bit of overall EQ now. Let's just shrink some of these. We know they're working. Shrink that one. We know that's working. That's our effect. Let's bring in an EQ8. And now we're just going to do some general cleanup of the vocals. A lot of people do this EQ first. It doesn't matter really in what order you do this in. I'm kind of doing it here because I've already adjusted my compressors, so if I was to do this before the compression, I'd need to go and readjust all the compressors again, so I'm just going to do it this way. Let's get a high shelf. There's nothing down there underneath, say 40 or 50 that we want. I'm going to try and get that horrible honky out. Let's see if we can find the honk first. Sweep around a bit. Might just solo it for this part. I'll give it a bit more Q.
This piece is only in our dreams.
I think I heard a plosive there. Let's have a listen. Let's go through it, see if we can find these plosives. Oh, they're all over the place, aren't they? Stuff in the beginning.
Step inside the fire and let go of your mind. Have you lost all reason? Listen to the night and give in to your heavy eyes. Succumb to the lullaby and give in to your heavy eyes. Succumb to the lullaby. Pieces, pieces, only in your dreams. You're blindly following like sheep. Go to sleep. Go to I must obey, 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 obey my this piece, piece, this piece, this piece. Safety in slumber. In slumber. In slumber. In slumber. Open your eyes. Open your Open your eyes. Open your eyes to see the light. In slumber. Open your eyes to open your eyes to see slumber. Open your eyes to see the light. They hope that we will finally fall asleep. Safety in slumber. Someone wake me from this. Wake me from this dream. Yeah!
Holy crap.
Go to sleep.
Okay. I think we're in good shape. So, that's probably it for this video. I think we've come a long way. We've got a pretty good sounding vocal now. Dipped a little bit. Might even just give it a little bit of air now. So we've got to, whenever we give it air, we're going to make sure that we manage our frequencies.
This piece is only in our dreams. We're blindly following like sheep. Our world is crumbling beneath. The truth is all that sets us free. They hope that we
Okay, I think that's sounding good. What I really want to be able to do is make these vocals sit a lot better with the guitars, and I think that's my next video. Also, I'm going to tackle these background vocals probably in the same video, make sure that they're all working well together. So I think that'll probably do us for now. Remember, subscribe, like, comment, and I'll see you in the next video.